to today's edition of ISM's Quick Tips podcast series. I'm Barbara Beachley, a research analyst and associate consultant with Independent School Management. Today I'm going to talk about best survey practices and common design mistakes that schools make. There are a number of considerations to take into account when you're designing your survey. The first is length. How long will your survey be? How long will it take to take the survey? If you're surveying parents, you have a lot more time to deal with because they're invested in their children and they believe that their feedback will impact the lives of their children directly. So 15, 20, 30 minutes, maybe even longer, parents are willing to fill out a parent survey. Attrition surveys, on the other hand, these are families that have left the school and have less investment. So 5 to 7 minutes would be probably your maximum there, or they will get survey fatigue. Clarity, asking questions that are not ambiguous, that could have two different answers or that could be read differently by different participants. To look at this, you can try pre-testing, which is just sending out your survey to a test group prior, and you can look at how long it takes them to take it, and also get feedback on questions that may be perfectly clear to you because you know what you're asking, but may not be clear to participants. Then there's whether you're going to use open-ended questions or closed questions. Closed questions typically use a 5-point scale and you can compare means, so that's very useful. Open-ended questions, on the other hand, provide insights and anecdotes that support the means and can often provide wonderful marketing tools that schools will use. Looking at compound questions, a common mistake is to look at two features of something that you're asking about. For example, asking if parents believe that the food is healthy and tasty. So parents may believe it's healthy but not tasty, and so they're not sure how to answer that question, and you can't rely on the data as being valid. Modifiers, adding extra adjectives, can change the way that participants are going to respond to questions. Looking at scales and making sure they're balanced and they make sense. So not having more scale items that are positive than negative, for example. That it's objective, not asking leading questions, to be careful of that sometimes you're looking for a specific answer and you write the question that way. Relevance, appropriateness, making sure that it's a question that you should be asking. So for example, polling parents on what they think about specific pedagogy may not be appropriate because that's the school's domain. The school should have an answer to that, and that should not be up for parent opinion. And related to that, setting false expectations. Never ask a question that may open a door to a conversation that you're not willing or able to engage in. For example, a school sent out a survey internally about uniforms, but they really had no intention of having uniforms. They were just interested in knowing, and doing that will set false expectations, and generally your constituents are not happy about that, and it can create a difficult situation for you. And finally, moving your questions from complex questions, difficult thinking questions, to easier questions at the end. Questions at the end may be demographic questions because as they go through the survey fatigue sets in, and so you'll get more thoughtful questions earlier on in the survey. So the golden rule really of survey design is that if you don't know why you're asking a question or what you'll do with the results, don't ask it. Thank you for joining me in this podcast. For more information about this topic, visit isminc.com/elearning. To stay connected to the latest from ISM, don't forget to sign up for our monthly e-letters at isminc.com.